What's up guys? Welcome to another video. I'm Lori if you're new here. So today I want to share with you my top 10 low waste or zero waste items. So it does kind of fall in with veganism. So I mean, I was already trying to help the environment before I went vegan, and then once I went vegan, obviously you learn a lot, and I realized how much going vegan does help the planet. So then I figured, okay, you know what, it's like once you accomplish a couple of things, you know, I brought my own grocery bags, I use my own water bottle, and then as time goes on, it's like, oh, what more can you do? So I'm going to show you things that maybe you haven't thought of, and maybe you can do more than what you're already doing. Okay, so the first thing is straws. So number one, when you go to a restaurant, when you place your order for a drink, ask for no straw. And I'm the first to admit I am horrible at this, so I am trying. It's a learning thing. It's just you're not used to doing it, so I have to try to make a point to say no straw, please. And you know what? If you are a restaurant owner and you're watching this, please tell your servers to ask the staff, here's your drink, do you want the straw with it? If so, here, and if you don't want it, then that's fine. But I think it's great if they could also ask, which some restaurants do, but most restaurants, they just give you the straw. So it's like, you know what, it would be a nice reminder for me to say no straw. But when you're at home and you want to have your straw, like smoothies or whatever, but look at all the options for straws. And actually I have another one here. This one I bought at Copper Branch. This actually comes in a reusable, or I mean it comes in a little container. So this is something that I keep in my purse now. Okay, so it's got its own cleaner in here. So this is good, you can take it out and clean it. And then here's the straw, just a bamboo straw. What does it say here? A Copper Branch. Yeah, it's got the. This is a chain of vegan restaurants that made the straw. So just a bamboo straw, and then the little bamboo holder that goes with it. So this is great. You just always have it in your purse. When you get home, you can clean it. The little thing goes right inside, and then perfect. But when you're home, you have these options. So I have 4 different kinds of straws. I actually have probably way too many, but I think the first one I bought was the glass one, which is nice and thick. Let me see if you can see. It is thick, it's good for smoothies. But then I just didn't want to travel with it. So I keep these at home. I only have 2 glass ones, but I do like it. Also you can see when it's clean. That's the good thing. And then after that, I think I was able to get the metal one. So I have about 5 of these. These are handy. I love these. They also, for some reason, keep it cool. Like when I drink my cold water with it, or lemon water. And these are also durable. You could put this, you know, in your purse too, but it doesn't come with a case. So that's why I like the bamboo one. Then I have these silicone ones, which are great for smoothies. My son likes these, and it does come with the cleaner. Usually when you buy these straws, this came, I think, in a package of 5, and then it came with a special cleaner. Okay, so I have these bamboo straws. These actually I bought when I was in Bali. Even though I already had the other straws, I was like, oh my god, I'm in Bali, I have to buy these bamboo straws. So yeah, it's just really a novelty thing. They're not my favorite. But anyways, you know what? You have lots of options. I would definitely get some for your house because it is good to have. And also, you know, maybe look into getting like a travel one that you can throw in your purse, because if you're prepared, you're going to use it. And that brings me to the second point, which is number 2, which is this. So I keep this in my car. This is basically, I'll just show you. Well, I have 2 of them actually. I have one for traveling. Basically, it's my own cutlery. This is the one I travel with. So it has basically everything you need in this cute little pouch. So I don't always have this with me. It's only when I go on vacation, just because I have my car and I do live in the burbs. So I usually have my car with me. But if like when I went to Bali, I actually did bring this. So this actually I put the metal straw in. I don't think it came with that, but it has 2 chopsticks. But then I have a fork and knife and a spoon, and they're all bamboo. But you know what? This is just something I went crazy because when I did go on vacation, I'm like, okay, I'm gonna, you know, get all prepared. So I bought this. But you don't have to buy something like that, because this is what I keep in my car, which is just a bag, and it has actual cutlery in it that I didn't have to buy, just cutlery from my kitchen. So I just have this. So I have the bamboo straw, and I have a fork, knife, and spoon. But anyways, I just figured, you know what, if I have this in my car, I'm going to use it. So that way I always go into the restaurant, I already have it, I take it back with me, and I just wash it, and then boom, put it back in my car again. So the key is really being prepared, because if you're not prepared, you're not going to use it. You know, how many times when you leave the house, you don't know every single stop you're going to make. You know, you might have 1 or 2 stops, but then it's like at the end of the day when you come back, you're like, oh wow, I went here because I thought of that on the way, and I went here, and you don't know how your day's going to go sometimes. So if you're prepared, you know, you're definitely going to use it. So yes, that comes to number 3. So these little bags, I have more right here. So this is one. These are ones I bought. Actually, this was like a local, it's like a local business. Yeah, so she makes these in her little shop. So there's little tiny sizes, and they're just like washable plastic on the inside. I bought these actually so that I can bring little snacks when I go to work, or for my son too when he was like a couple years ago. Then he could put, like I used to put dried apricots in here, and you could put carrot sticks in here, you could put raisins, you know, but you could put some stuff in here. Obviously you can't put like, you know, canned pears or something juicy liquidy, but like most things you can put in here, right? So it's great, and you could just wash them. You just turn it inside out and you wash them, and it's easy breezy. So this is one option, and basically these are to replace Ziploc bags or like sandwich bags. So we still have some in our house, but I have, you know, decided I'm not buying anymore. So once our current stash, which I think was a Costco stash, so it's like 3 boxes of Ziploc in this huge thing. So possibly it's like a couple of years worth. But I'm not going to buy anymore. So that's why I have these ones. So this way we can use these bags instead, or containers. And I also have these, which I'm not sure if they're really, like, they're obviously better than using the one-time use sandwich bags, but they're obviously not as good as this. These are cloth, although they are kind of waterproof on the inside, but this is still kind of some kind of silicone or plastic, right? So it's still better. It's still using resources. So that's why I don't know if I'd buy these again, but it is still pretty good. Like this would be good to put maybe traveling, you know, when you're traveling on the airplane and you need a waterproof bag, because it does zip up. So anyways, I just want to show you guys that there is options, but really, if you're, like I said, it all comes down to being prepared. If you think these are a great idea, but then you don't go and buy them and you don't start using them, you're going to keep using the sandwich bags. And then when you're out, you're going to need some more. So that's why I didn't want to use up my stash and then be stuck without it. Because it's like, what if there was a time that I actually do need it? I know a lot of people do try to use their sandwich bags over, but it's like, if you can find another replacement, start keeping containers from items that you purchase anyway, then you're saving the environment. So that's a really good tip. And the other thing with the kitchen, so the other thing I stopped purchasing is cling wrap. So this is beeswax papers, which, so I'm vegan. So this is one of those things I had to make a dilemma, and there's another thing on my list here I'm going to show you. So I couldn't find bee-free these wax wraps, right? So I got these are made with honeycomb, I guess. So but it's really great. You just hold it, you know, you wrap it once you fold it a bit, like it just stays, right, for the container. These are good for when you're making a plate, leftovers or something in the fridge. So that's the thing, is like, do you want to help the environment, or do you go with the vegan route? So if you can't find something, it's like you kind of stuck in a dilemma. So I figured I'm going to make a judgment call. I feel like me using this, like let's say I use it, you know, 100 times or whatever, and I'm saving all that plastic from being in the environment. I feel like that's probably a better choice than to using up, you know, the honeycomb or whatever for the one time using to make that. So it's your call on certain things, but I do feel like there are some gray areas. You kind of have to do the best option. You know, going vegan is not being perfect all the time, 100% of the time. It's like you do whatever best, like you do the best you can in what you're working with, right? It's just like when people say, oh no, you have to buy local produce and don't buy foods that aren't in season. Well, sorry, but when you live in Canada in the wintertime, there is no fruits in season. So I have to purchase things that have been exported, that have been shipped. I don't have a choice. Otherwise, I'm not eating fruit for 5 months out of the year. So, you know, you do the best you can when you can. So, all right, so that's that one. So the other one is, this is another one that was kind of a gray area. So these are dryer balls. This one is made with wool, not vegan. This one is made with silicone. Obviously, it's like a resource. It's not great for the environment, but it also saves. These are instead of using the dryer sheets. So when I first switched, so I knew about these dryer balls and I didn't want to get them because they're made with wool. So I'm like, well, that's not vegan, so I'm not going to go with that. I know everyone talks about them. I'm not getting that. So I got these. So I have 3 of them, 3 or 4 actually, and they go in the dryer. So you don't put the dryer sheets. You throw these in. They're supposed to take the static away. Well, it didn't. So, and I do, like I said, I live in Canada. So in the summertime they worked great, but in the wintertime, not great at all, because our furnace is pumping all the time. We have a humidifier in our house, but it still gets very dry in here, very staticky, and the clothes were just too staticky. So anyways, these were not working. So I'm like, well, I'm not going back to the dryer sheets. So then I thought about the wool sheets. So I had to make an executive decision. They don't make these, as far as I've seen anyway, that are not wool. So I got these. I'm like, you know what, which one is better? Me using like a dryer sheet for every single load, and I do about I don't know, 3 to 5 loads a week maybe, and there's only a family of 3 of us. So it's not a huge lot, but I do, you know, and that's with the bed sheets and towels and everything, so it's kind of a decent amount. So it's like if I were to use, even if I reuse the dryer sheet 1 or 2 times, I mean, what's better? You know, buy one of these, and actually I have 3 of these. So anyways, I had to make the executive decision, and I bought these, and I'm not regretting it. I think it's great. And also learning more about the wool industry, not getting into detail, but I guess some sheep, it's actually better for them to be sheared. So, you know, it depends, like whatever. Anyways, I don't even want to go because that's a whole nother video, and I'm not super expertly trained on that, but I'm just going to say that I don't think it's as horrible all the time. So anyways, we'll leave it at that. So I got the 3 of these. They also don't work that great, but if you soak these in water, not soak, but like I rinse them in cold water, all 3 of them before I put in the dryer, and then I have like 4 of these, then also we're talking like 7 balls are in the dryer, then it's actually not too bad. It cuts down on the static a lot. So that's my new go-to now. I don't use the dryer sheets. And these are great even for bed sheets, towels, whatever, it works fine. But you do have to wet these. I mean, that's me in Canada because it's very dry here. So if you don't live in a cold climate that you have your furnace pumping all the time, you might not have an issue. You might be fine with just these, right? I guess it depends where you live. So, all right, so the other thing, moving right along here. So obviously everyone's seen these produce bags, right? So you just use these instead of the one-time use. Instead of the one-time use plastic when you go to the store, you can buy these. And you can buy these at a lot of stores now. I think I purchased these online like a couple years ago, but now they actually sell them at the grocery store, which is amazing. In case you forget, you can buy another one. But the key is you have to have them in your car, because if you leave your car and you go into the store and you didn't have them, you're just going to buy it because you need something, you're just going to buy it. So, you know, you always have to have these. You bring it into the house when you bring your groceries and then put it right back in your car when you're done. And you can throw these in the wash too. The other thing is, so this pepper, so I bought the organic, which is good. I don't always buy organic. It just, the only other option was a 4-pack of peppers. So it's like, you know, if I needed 4 peppers, the old me would just go grab a pack of 4 because it's cheaper. You buy 4, but it's in plastic wrap. It's in the bag, right? So it's like, you know, you can actually purchase that, but then you're basically giving the money to that company, and they're going to keep doing that because your money is voting for what products you want, right? Or you can just move slightly to the left or move to another section and grab the single peppers. Might be a little bit more, but then you're not getting the plastic that you don't need. So it's like these small changes do add up, right? This is a Diva Cup. I'm not going to show you inside. So I heard about the rave about these Diva Cups years ago, and I wasn't really sure if I was on board, you know, but then I waited a year or 2, people kept talking about it, and I finally bought one, tried it a few times, I was like, no, this isn't working for me, and I just left it. Well, a year floated by, kind of a waste of a whole year, and then I got another one. I tried it again, and now it's like, I feel like sometimes when you want to make a change, it's your mind that makes the difference if it's going to work or not. You know, it's like, even like people want to go vegan, you know, if you tell them, oh, you're going to go vegan, they're like, no, I'm not going vegan. Like, it's like your mind is already saying no, but then if they tried the food and they did it for a week, they might say, oh, you know what, it's actually not bad. I think I do want to do it now. So it's the same thing with this Diva Cup. I feel like my mind at the first time was already like, not going to like it, it's going to be uncomfortable, I'm not going to want to do it, it's just gross, you know. And then a year later, I'm like, you know what, I really should get on board with this, because the amount of products that people go through, like if you think about how many people are in the world and how many people are, like women, are using these feminine hygiene products every month, I mean, that's a huge chunk of stuff. Like, that's a lot of stuff into our landfills. Like, you know, I can do my little part. So I am so happy I switched now, because honestly, I love it. Like, it took me a while, so it might take you a while, but if you already have your mind that, you know what, you do want to do what you can to help the environment, and also it's cheaper, it's way cheaper, you're not buying any products, you know, and it's actually like, yeah, I don't even want to go into more detail. I think that's all the detail I want to talk about this video, but anyways, go get yourself one, it's good. Alright, so the other thing is shopping in bulk stores. So we actually have Bulk Barn here in Canada, and they started something, I think about a year ago, that you can bring your own containers in, and what they do is they weigh the container, so you have to stand in line twice, kind of. You stand in line when you get there, they weigh your containers, and then they write the weight on it, and then when you go and you put in whatever products you want, and then they weigh it again, and then they just remove the weight of the container. So you just pay for what you're buying. But what they used to do before they had that, they actually had the one-time single-use plastic. So, oh my God, like I used to have a cake pop business years ago, and I would go in there and buy 3 or 4 different kinds of sprinkles, 3 or 4 kinds of chocolate. You know, I'd buy baking products. So I could come out of there with like 15 one-time use plastic bags. Like, it's just insane now to think about how destructive, and that's just me. Can you imagine how many people they must have went through so many plastic bags, right? So anyways, now that they have this, it's amazing. So I always make sure to go there. So I keep these containers, again, I keep them in my car. So I have this little box in the back of my car, and I have a tiny car, by the way. It's a Honda Fit. So it's like a very small car, but it works. I have a little box with all the stuff in it. I always have these plastic containers, and then depending on what it is, when I get home, I might put it into a mason jar, and then I wash out the container, and then I put it back in the car. So that way I always have some plastic containers in my car. They're not glass containers that they're rolling around and they're gonna break. I keep the glass ones at home. But yeah, these plastic ones, and this is actually just an old hummus one, and I've put pumpkin seeds in it. Really good pumpkin seeds. And then another one, I have this, the best chickpea salad from Costco, and I just have Brazil nuts in there. So these are great containers, you know, like I said, you just got to be prepared. Like, honestly, you know, people say, oh yeah, that's so great, I totally would do that. But then, are you prepared? Do you have it in your car or your knapsack? You know, like, I know if you live kind of downtownish, you probably, or if you don't have a car and you're basically walk everywhere, which is amazing, by the way, you can have one of these in your knapsack, but you can also just have either one of these containers or even one of these bags, you know, or even like, even these kind of bags. Keep one if you do have a bulk barn or a bulk store close to you and you do frequent those places. These are like weigh nothing. You could throw a couple of these in your knapsack and just keep them there in case you need them. And same with these things. Like, look at how light this weighs nothing. So these are so awesome. So many good things here. Okay, and another option that you can use is a reusable coffee mug. So again, I know it's one of these things, people talk about it, but do they use it? But anyways, my husband, every day, he brings his coffee mug, thanks to my pushing, but I do have to help him, so that's the thing. If you can encourage other people to do it, it's awesome. So he brings home his coffee mug, I wash it that night. Not only do I leave it like in the drying rack or put it away, no, I put it right back to the front door, because he's kind of got a little area at the front where he takes everything for the morning, so it's like right there. And so that way he takes it and he just goes and, you know, gets his coffee every day, and that way he goes in, he actually goes in, so I don't know if for drive-through if it would be different, but he goes in, brings the coffee mug, and then he gets the coffee. So it's actually, it helps. You know how many coffee, like in Canada we drink Tim Hortons. Tim Hortons cup, I think I heard, is like the most polluted thing because it's not recyclable. Obviously it is a paper cup, but because it's liquid, they have like a little inside kind of wax coating that makes so the liquid doesn't go through the paper, obviously. So because of that, I guess, it's not recyclable, which is really, really crappy. So it's like, instead of waiting for companies to change, because I have had this discussion with people and they're like, oh yeah, that company should totally change. I'm like, okay, but in the meantime, we can do what we have control over. If you can do your part, you don't have to wait for other people to change. You do what you can in your capacity. So definitely invest in one of these. I do love this one, and I do hand wash them. That's the other thing. I don't put them in the dishwasher. Because I know one of them I used to lose like the seal of it at the top, I guess, so I would like start drinking and it would come out the sides, and it's probably because it was going in the dishwasher. So there's a couple of things that I don't put in the dishwasher. I just try to wash my hand, and I do think that it gives it more life, keeps it like working great for longer. So anyways, make sure you have your reusable mug and use it. Leave it at the front door so you don't forget it. You're not going to remember as you're leaving, oh yeah, let me go into the kitchen and grab a mug. No. Have it right at the front door with your purse, your keys, whatever you take in the morning, have it right there ready to go. All right, the last thing I'm going to talk about is these. So I actually featured these when I talked about these in one of my other videos, because I actually purchased these at the, I think it was the Durham Veg Fest or the London Veg Fest. I can't remember which one. I went to one of the Veg Fests. But anyways, they come in a package of 5, and they come in this cute little mesh bag, kind of like this, and you just throw the whole thing in the wash. These are basically replace the eye makeup remover pads. So I used to go through 3 of the eye makeup remover pads. So I would use one in the morning to use the toner. I use apple cider vinegar as my toner. So I put that on my face, throw that out. And then at the end of the night, you know, I use another one to take off the eye makeup remover or the eye makeup, and then wash my face, and then I would do again with the toner with the apple cider vinegar. So basically be throwing 3 of those in the trash bin every night. So that's kind of a lot when you think about 3, like for my whole life pretty much. Like I don't wear eye makeup every day, but still. So these are a great investment. So I got these in a package of 5, and like I said, you just use them and throw them in the wash and you're good to go. They do kind of stain a little bit. You might see a little bit, and obviously they're not as smooth as when I first bought them, but honestly it doesn't matter. They're clean. I wash them, put them in the washing machine and the dryer. They're definitely better than using the one-time cotton pads. So anyways, there's probably tons of other tips, like obviously, you know, using your own water bottle. I bring this everywhere, by the way. If I leave my house, I bring this. Even if I'm just going to one store or one little place or going to a friend's house or whatever, I bring that because I always drink water before I go somewhere, after, so I always have water. So obviously there's way more tips than what I'm telling you. Let me know in the comments below if you have a great tip that's maybe not the obvious ones, like the reusable bags or something like that. Let me know if you have some unusual tip that maybe you can share with everyone else. And you know what, it's like I said, no one is perfect, but if you can do more than what you're already doing, that's the greatest thing. Is like we're all striving to be a better person, less footprint on the world. You know, you do what you can in what your capacity is, right? So I know there's some people that say, oh, I can't do that because of this and this. Okay, well that's fine, then do what you can. Like maybe you can do something else that's more impactful, right? So anyways, hopefully you guys did enjoy this video. Please give it a like and don't forget to subscribe if you did like it. And thanks so much for watching, and until next time, live your life with kindness for all living beings. Take care. Bye.